Every morning you wake up knowing one wrong move could cost you your life. There are villages so dangerous that most people would never dream of living there. These places push human survival to the absolute limit every single day. Yet families have called them home for generations. What's their secret? The journey begins now. Deep in the forests of Western Java, Indonesia, lie the Baduy villages. These settlements sit about 2,000 feet above sea level across hilly forested terrain, with no roads for cars. Most movement happens on foot, along narrow dirt trails. The houses are simple bamboo structures raised on wooden posts built with natural materials that blend perfectly into the tropical environment. But what truly sets the Baduy apart is their way of life. They follow strict traditional rules and largely reject modern technology. No electricity, no televisions, no cars. The community live with the strictest rules, protecting their ancestral beliefs, known as Sunda Wiwitan. This ancient spiritual tradition honors nature spirits and ancestors. They believe in living simply and in balance with the land, a guiding idea that says, you do not cut what is long or add to what is short. For hundreds of years, they have chosen this path to preserve their culture and keep the forest healthy. From here, the path leads north to Lolochai village, where mountain air shapes a slower rhythm. The community lives among limestone hills and rocky terrain at high elevation. The ground is hard and uneven, so building here has never been easy. The houses stand out because of their thick rammed earth walls, often about 2 feet wide. Locals create these walls by packing layers of soil inside wooden frames until the earth becomes dense and solid. Many of these homes have stood for more than 100 years, some even longer. For generations, the people of Lolochai have passed down the skill of building with rammed earth. The thick earth walls keep the houses cool in summer and warm in winter, proving how well the locals understand their harsh mountain home. It is more than just construction. It is a tradition that connects families to their land and their ancestors. Life here moves slowly. They keep older customs alive, including ceremonies that honor the forest and celebrate the harvest. Innerly floating villages, Myanmar. Wooden stilt houses rise directly from the lakebed and are connected by narrow walkways and docks. The lake stretches more than 10 miles long and sits nearly 3,000 feet above sea level. The Intha people, known as the Sons of the Lake, have lived here for centuries. They developed a special way of rowing. They stand at the stern of the boat and use one leg to paddle. This leaves both hands free to fish or handle nets while giving them a clear view over the reeds. They also created floating gardens from lake plants and mud. These long strips of farmland are anchored with bamboo poles so they do not drift away. The gardens move with the water levels, rising and falling with the seasons. Daily life here depends completely on the lake. Everything happens by boat. Over hundreds of years, the Intha have turned open water into a complete world of its own. Across the ocean, Asarur village greets us with painted faces and stories told through ritual. The land here is green and rolling with clay-rich soil that the locals have used for centuries. What catches every visitor's eye are the mudmen. During traditional ceremonies, men cover their bodies in pale clay and wear large masks made from the same mud. These masks can stand over a foot tall and weigh more than 5 pounds once they harden. The round eyes and ghostly faces create a powerful otherworldly look. The tradition comes from a story passed down for generations. Long ago, the Asaro were attacked by a stronger group. They hid in the river, covered themselves in mud, and rose up looking like spirits. Their enemies fled in fear. Today, the mudmen still perform this ritual to honor their ancestors and connect with the spirit world. The clay masks are more than costumes. They are a living link to the past. The people of Asaro continue to farm the land and hold on to these old practices even as the modern world moves closer. The trail bends towards central Cambodia. Kampong Phluk is a true stilt village. Hundreds of wooden houses rise high above the water on long poles, famous for its dramatic seasonal changes. During the rainy season, the water can rise many feet. In the dry season, it drops sharply. The houses here are built to move with those changes. Some stand as high as 20 feet off the ground, about the height of a 2-story building. When the water rises, boats pass right under the floors of the houses, paths turn into canals. Everything in daily life follows the rhythm of the lake. Most families earn their living from fishing. The people of Kampong Fluk have adapted to this cycle for generations. They do not fight the water, they work with it. In Kampong Fluk, the water is not a threat. It is the heartbeat of the entire community. Farther west, the Mentawai Islands reveal villages where tattoos mark identity and heritage. These communities are some of the most isolated in Southeast Asia. There are almost no roads. People travel mainly by wooden boats along winding rivers that cut through the thick jungle. The traditional homes, called uma, are long wooden houses built on stilts. Some stretch longer than 80 feet. The raised floors protect families from floods and wild animals. Life here depends on hunting, fishing, and gathering plants from the forest. Children learn survival skills directly from the land around them. The Mentawai people have lived this way for thousands of years. In 2010, a powerful earthquake and tsunami showed how dangerous this land can be. Yet the Mentawai continue to live close to nature. One of their strongest traditions is the ancient art of tattooing. Each tattoo tells a story about a person's life journey, their achievements, and their connection to the spirit world. They believe the tattoos protect them and keep them in harmony with the forest. Our journey climbs higher into the Nafu Valley, where stone houses cling to the cliffs of the Himalayas. Many villages sit between 10,000 and 13,000 feet above sea level. In winter, heavy snow can cut the area off from the outside world for months. The houses are built from local stone, simple and strong. The people here are mostly of Tibetan descent and follow ancient Tibetan Buddhist traditions. Colorful prayer flags flutter in the wind, and prayer wheels turn slowly along the paths. Old monasteries and many stone walls carved with sacred prayers still stand as they have for centuries. Families raise yaks and grow hardy crops during the short summer. Many still speak the local Tibetan dialect and keep customs that have changed very little over hundreds of years. This valley feels almost frozen in time. a living piece of medieval Himalayan culture. The harsh mountain environment has helped protect their traditions from outside influence. Back in Indonesia, Trunyan village shows a rare custom of honoring the dead beneath sacred trees. The setting is dramatic. Steep crater walls surround a deep lake, and the air carries the scent of the forest. But what makes Trunyan truly different is how the people treat death. Instead of burying or cremating their dead, the villagers of Trunyan practice an open-air burial. They place the bodies in simple bamboo frames under a sacred tree called Taru Menyan. The tree is believed to release a natural fragrance that reduces the smell of decomposition. The bodies are left to return slowly to nature. This tradition sets Trunyan apart from the rest of Hindu Bali, where cremation is the normal practice. The local Bali Aga people, who are the original inhabitants of the island, have followed this custom for centuries. They believe the soul should merge directly with the earth and the forest. Daily life continues right beside these open burial grounds. The mix of living families and exposed bodies creates a powerful reminder that life and death are closely connected. Can you imagine a stone village that has existed for more than 1,000 years on the edge of Hanoi, Vietnam? That place is Duong Lam, ancient village. The houses are built from laterite blocks taken straight from the local earth. The walls are nearly 2 feet thick, as hard as natural concrete, and many have stood for 300 to 400 years. Narrow brick paths twist like a maze between the old homes. The layout once made the village difficult for outsiders to enter, acting like a natural fortress. Large courtyards inside the compounds serve as gathering places where families dry crops, share meals, and celebrate festivals together. Life here still feels close to old Vietnamese village traditions. Several generations often live under the same roof. The village has survived wars, floods, and modern changes, yet it keeps its quiet, timeless character. Today, Duong Lam feels like a living museum where the past and present exist side by side. The route continues to Tai O, where a traditional fishing village is more than 300 years old, on Lantau Island in Hong Kong. Wooden stilt houses rise above the coastal mudflats and tidal waters. The houses are clustered tightly together, and connected by narrow wooden walkways. Fishing boats are often tied right at the front doors. Many of the residents belong to the tanker people who have lived on or near the water for generations. They dry seafood on racks along the paths, and the salty smell of shrimp paste fills the air. The village has survived major typhoons and storms over the centuries by repairing and rebuilding their wooden homes again and again. Daily life still revolves around the sea. Families wake early to check nets, clean fish, and prepare fresh catches for the market. Even though modern Hong Kong is close by, Tai O keeps its old fishing culture alive. The stilt houses may look fragile, but they have proven strong enough to support a community for hundreds of years. What makes the Asmat villages in Papua Indonesia so unusual, where an entire community builds wooden houses on stilts above a complex network of rivers and wetlands? Asmat villages, Indonesia. Wooden houses rise about 10 feet above the water, connected by long walkways that can stretch more than 300 feet. The raised houses protect them from flooding and dangerous animals. Every part of life revolves around the flowing water that surrounds them. Travel here happens only by boat. There are no roads. Daily life, like fishing, visiting neighbors, and moving goods, takes place entirely on the water. The Asmat people have lived in harmony with these rivers for centuries. Their culture is deeply tied to the spirit world. Traditional wood carvings, often featuring ancestor figures, are famous around the world. In the past, the Asmat were known for headhunting rituals that honored their ancestors and marked important life events. Today, those practices have ended, but the respect for ancestors and the river spirits remains strong. How do people build a vibrant town where breathing itself is a challenge? In Namche Bazaar, centuries of Sherpa knowledge, strong traditions, and warm hospitality keep life going strong in the shadow of the world's highest mountains. Namche Bazaar, Nepal. At about 11,300 feet above sea level, Namche Bazaar is built on a steep mountainside in a natural horseshoe shape. This bustling village serves as the gateway to Mount Everest. The air is thin here, and every step feels heavier. Yet Namche has been a busy trading center for centuries. Sherpa traders once carried salt wool and livestock across high passes to Tibet and back. Today, it is the main stopping point for trekkers heading to Everest Base Camp. The people are mostly Sherpas, known for their incredible strength and deep Buddhist faith. Prayer flags flutter between the stone houses, and monasteries sit on the hills above the village. Locals still celebrate ancient festivals and maintain strong community ties while welcoming visitors from around the world. Namche proves that even at extreme altitude, a lively community can thrive. Southward, the Batan's Islands show stone houses built to withstand fierce Pacific winds. Batanes Islands Villages, Philippines. These small islands are constantly battered by powerful winds and storms. Even though the islands are only about 100 miles from Taiwan, the constant strong winds prevent tall trees from growing, leaving the landscape open and rugged. The villages sit on wide grassy hills and dramatic sea cliffs. The houses are built to survive nature's force. Thick stone walls, nearly 3 feet wide, and heavy grass roofs are designed to stand up to typhoons that regularly sweep across the islands. Small windows help reduce wind pressure. These sturdy homes have protected families for hundreds of years. The Ivatan people who live here have developed a deep respect for the sea and the weather. They fish in small boats and farm on the hillsides. Their culture emphasizes helping one another during storms and sharing resources when the ocean is rough. In northern Thailand, Mae Kampong village forms a traditional wooden settlement built along a mountain slope surrounded by dense natural forest. Mae Kampong village, Thailand. The village stands about 4,300 feet above sea level. Wooden houses are built step by step up the steep hillside, following the natural slope of the land. Narrow paths wind between the homes, and many houses have balconies overlooking the valley below. Here, centuries of practical knowledge and respect for the forest have turned a challenging slope into a peaceful, self-sustaining village. The villagers grow tea and coffee on the surrounding slopes. This traditional farming has been part of life here for generations. The community is small and close-knit. People move at a slower pace, working with the forest instead of against it. The village feels peaceful and deeply connected to the surrounding nature. Life in Mae Kampong is a quiet example of living in balance with steep mountain terrain. Across the sea of Kyoto Prefecture, Ine lines its shore with boathouses that open directly onto the bay. Ine Japan. Rows of traditional two-story wooden houses called funaya stand right beside the calm waters of the bay. These unique homes have a special design. The lower level opens directly to the water and serves as a boathouse where fishing boats are kept. The upper floor is where families live. Sliding doors and wooden balconies face the sea, keeping the connection between house and water strong. From the sea, the village looks like a continuous line of wooden buildings hugging the shoreline. The funaya style dates back to the 17th century. For hundreds of years, the people of Ina have lived by fishing. They still launch their boats from right under their homes and return with the day's catch. In Ine, this centuries-old way of blending home and fishing work continues to shape daily life in a beautiful and practical way. Can you imagine living in Barrio Highland Village, a place so remote that the outside world feels like another lifetime? Barrio Highland Village, Malaysia. This quiet settlement rests on a wide highland plateau about 3,500 feet above sea level. Surrounded by rugged mountains and dense forest, Barrio feels far removed from the modern world. There are no paved roads leading into the plateau. Visitors must fly in or trek for hours through the jungle. The landscape is open and peaceful, with rice fields and grasslands stretching across the valley. Wooden houses with simple designs are scattered along narrow earth paths. The Kelabit people who live here have farmed this highland for generations. They grow rice using traditional methods and raise livestock in the cool mountain air. Life in Barrio follows the rhythm of the seasons, and community ties are strong. Families work together during planting and harvest times, and traditional ceremonies still honor the land and their ancestors. Because of its isolation, many old customs and the Kelabit language have been preserved remarkably well. Have you ever wondered what happens to a village when its people slowly disappear? In Nagaro, handmade dolls now carry the memories and the spirit of a fading community. Nagaro Village, Japan. Once a lively community, Nagaro now has fewer than 30 actual residents. Most young people have moved away to the cities, leaving behind empty houses and silent streets. What makes Nagaro so unusual is the hundreds of life-size dolls that now outnumber the living people. There are more than 300 dolls sitting on benches, standing in fields, and even placed inside the old school classrooms. These dolls were handmade by one local woman to replace the neighbors and family members who had left or passed away. The first doll she created was to remember her late father. Over time, she continued making more to fill the empty spaces and keep the village from feeling completely abandoned. Today, the dolls sit at bus stops, work in gardens, and attend school as silent reminders of the community that once was. Nagaro has become known as the Village of Dolls. It is a powerful and bittersweet reflection of rural Japan's shrinking population. Continuing the journey, we arrive in Amphawa, where the water is the heartbeat of daily life and a living connection to Thailand's ancient culture. Amphawa Canal Village, Thailand. Wooden houses stand on posts driven into the soft canal mud, rising just a few feet above the flowing water. The canal is only about 60 feet wide, yet it serves as the main street of the village. Instead of roads, small wooden boats are the primary form of transportation. Floating markets come alive here, with vendors cooking and selling food directly from their boats. The smell of charcoal stoves and fresh Thai dishes drifts across the water. For generations, families in Amphawa have lived tied to the canal. They fish, trade goods, and raise children in homes that gently move with the tides. A narrow wooden walkway along the bank is the only path for walking, but most daily activities still happen on the water. The village still preserves a canal settlement structure that formed in the 17th century. Many families have lived for generations while maintaining a life closely tied to the water. Farther east in the fishing villages of Bantayan Island, the sea is both provider and constant challenge, and the bond between the people and the ocean runs deep. Bantayan Island fishing villages, Philippines. The land here is flat and close to the sea, making it extremely vulnerable to rising tides, coastal erosion, and powerful storms. Life in these villages depends almost entirely on the ocean. Men head out in small boats each day to fish, while women clean and dry the catch along the shore. After the devastating Super Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, more than 11,000 houses were completely destroyed. Yet the fishing families returned and slowly rebuilt their homes and their lives. Sea levels around the island continue to rise about 0.1 inch each year, bringing long-term risk. Still, generation after generation chooses to stay. They repair boats, mend nets, and teach their children the skills of the sea. The people here show remarkable resilience in the face of nature's power. Do you know how people survive on a massive limestone mountain filled with sheer cliffs and hidden underground caves? Let's explore the Doi Chiang Dao mountain villages in Thailand together. Doi Chiang Dao mountain villages, Thailand. Scattered across its steep slopes, reaching more than 7,000 feet, and hidden valleys are the Doi Chiang Dao mountain villages. The terrain is dramatic and dangerous. Towering cliffs, deep caves, and underground sinkholes create constant risk of sudden collapse. Narrow trails carved along cliff edges are often the only way to reach the villages. The forest changes from thick jungle at the bottom to cooler, thinner trees higher up. Local communities have lived on these slopes for thousands of years. They have learned to read the land, find hidden water sources, and build homes that work with the difficult ground instead of fighting it. Farming is done on small terraced plots, and every step requires careful attention to the unstable mountain. Despite the risks, these villages remain home to families who value their connection to this ancient limestone landscape. Can you imagine a place where the street is a canal and your front door opens to passing boats? In Damnoen Saduak, the flowing water is not just scenery, it is the lifeline that connects every home, every market, and every family. Damnoen Saduak Canal Villages, Thailand. This network of waterways was created in the 19th century to connect farming areas with trade routes. Instead of streets, hundreds of canals became the main roads. Wooden stilt houses line the banks, while small bridges and docks connect homes directly to the water. Narrow wooden boats carry fruits, vegetables, cooked food, and daily goods from one place to another. The canals also supply water to more than 50,000 acres of orchards. Life here still follows the old rhythm of the water. Vendors paddle their boats through the canals, selling fresh produce and hot meals straight from floating kitchens. Residents must constantly manage water levels to prevent flooding and keep salt water from damaging the farms. For more than 150 years, these canal villages have remained a living example of how people can build an entire community around water instead of land. Crossing seas again, we arrive in Kalinga villages to keep tattoo traditions alive in the Cordillera Mountains. Kalinga Villages, Philippines. These settlements cling to steep, rocky slopes at elevations reaching nearly 9,000 feet. The land is so steep that houses are built on tall wooden posts to keep them stable. The traditional homes are octagonal and raised off the ground, a design that once helped protect families during tribal conflicts. For many centuries, the Kalinga were known as fierce warriors. Long cycles of revenge fighting were common until they created the Bodong Peace Pact system. This traditional agreement helped stop the violence and bring lasting peace between different groups. The Kalinga continue to farm rice on narrow terraces and maintain strong community bonds in their mountain home. Today, many older women still carry the ancient face tattoo tradition. These tattoos were once symbols of beauty, strength, and courage. What do you think about Kandavan, where people have turned ancient volcanic rock into durable shelters and built a way of life that seems almost timeless? Kandavan, Iran. Families have carved their homes directly into cone-shaped rock formations created by ancient volcanic activity. Here, people do not build houses, they live inside them. Some of these natural stone cones rise more than 30 feet high. The soft volcanic rock was easy to carve, but strong enough to last for centuries. Locals expanded the spaces inward, creating multi-level rooms and stairways cut into the stone. The thick rock walls keep the interiors cool in summer and warm in winter without any modern heating or cooling. Kandavan has been continuously inhabited for hundreds of years. Generation after generation has passed down the knowledge of how to live safely inside these living rocks. The village remains a rare example of humans turning a volcanic landscape into permanent homes. Now look at the Banawi rice terrace villages in the Philippines, where steep mountain sides have been turned into massive layers of rice fields that resemble the steps of a giant natural staircase. Banao Rice Terraces Villages, Philippines. These terraces climb more than 8,000 feet above sea level and cover an area as large as a medium-sized city. The Ifugao people built these terraces entirely by hand more than 2,000 years ago. They stacked thousands of stone and earth walls along the mountainsides to hold water and prevent soil from washing away. Narrow irrigation channels carry water from mountain springs down through every level of the terraces. For the Ifugao, the rice terraces are more than just farmland. They are sacred. They represent the hard work of their ancestors and their deep connection to the land. Families still plant and harvest rice using traditional methods passed down through countless generations. Today, the terraces face challenges from earthquakes, heavy rains, and fewer young people staying to maintain the walls. Did you know that for the Bajau people in Malaysia, life on the water is not just a way to survive, it is their identity.